Dr. Lambert, Hannah.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Hannah. I'm a salaried GP in Bearsted, which is a small village in Maidstone in Kent. I qualified as a GP just in August of this year, 2009, and I have come back to my roots. I'm from Maidstone, so it's really, really nice to live in this area again. Recently bought a house, getting married, lots going on, but really enjoying my job too.
And have you always wanted to be a doctor?
That's a very interesting question. I think if somebody had planted the idea in my head a bit earlier, then probably the answer would be yes. But I kind of was good at science at school, as I think most doctors are, but nobody really pushed me in that direction. I'd never thought of it, don't have any doctors in the family or anything like that. So I actually took a slightly different path and did a biomedical science degree at Leeds University first of all, which led me to an extremely dull laboratory job, which I managed to do for a year. And then I just thought, well, I actually need to talk to people a bit more than this, and how can I use my skills in a bit more of a, sociable and communicative way. And I think it was around that point really that somebody suggested, you'd make a good doctor or something along those lines. And so I embarked upon my medical career from there.
Our website is there to offer advice to people making decisions about their medical career and about choosing the career that's best for them. So why did you choose general practice?
I think the very special thing about general practice is that you get to practice lots of different skills and a variety of specialties all in one. So if people are anything like me, they'll find that as they go through their early medical training, they go to paediatrics and they think, I really like paediatrics, and then they'll go to obs and gynae and think, I really like that. And actually, to make a career choice where you get to experience all of those things on a, let's face it, a daily basis, I think that's very special and unique to the specialty. So I think it was that variety that specifically attracted me. And also the kind of camaraderie, the team working that you come across within a general practice setting. I mean, it's fabulous, and you've got lots of flexibility and things like that also to tempt you. So it's a wonderful career.
A lot of people study through our website at the statistics and the workforce statistics. Did you have a look at those yourself?
I'm sure I did at the time. I think the overwhelming thing from a personal point of view was that I knew 100% that I wanted to be a general practitioner. So I don't think statistics would have dissuaded me one way or another. I think the one thing I would say is that it's very evident to me that primary care is becoming bigger by the second, and lots of secondary care services are coming into primary care. So we now have lots of, for example, GPs with special interests in dermatology, orthopaedics, whatever it is. And so, there are going to be more and more jobs available in general practice. And I think, statistics to one side, that's the overwhelming feeling that I have, and I'm glad about it for one.
Your enthusiasm is infectious, but what is it specially about work in general practice that you enjoy?
I think it's really nice to get up in the morning, come into your job and really not have a clue what's about to walk through the door. It's challenging, but it's unique again to the specialty. You can have a 2-year-old sitting in the chair 1 minute and literally 5 minutes later having a 102-year-old with completely different sets of problems. And I think that is part of the challenge of general practice, and it makes it very enjoyable. Every single day is different. The other great thing about it is the continuity of care that you're able to give to your patients. I mean, I've worked in lots of different medical jobs and things where you kind of clock someone in and then you never see that patient again. You have no idea what happened to them, what the outcome was. In general practice, they're your patient, okay? So you have that luxury, not only of looking after them through their life, but looking after their family as well, and understanding kind of how things impact on them.
But it's not all good, is it? There must be some aspects of this job that aren't so good.
I think so. I think there are with every job. I think the biggest thing that, if you ask the majority of GPs, the thing that gets them down is paperwork. These days it's all about pro formas and dictation and referrals, and there is a lot of that, but I think you need to balance it out, and provided you're organised you can strike quite a good balance. So I think that's what most general practitioners would say. I personally would say that the thing that I don't like about it is encountering vicious dogs on home visits, because I'm really not a fan of them, and it's the one thing in general practice that just puts the living daylight, scares the living daylights out of me. But I've learnt to cope with it, so that's good.
Is there such a thing as a typical day? What's a typical day like?
Well, obviously every day varies, but there's a basic structure to the day, and we tend to start at about 8:30. One of the great things about general practice, in this practice anyway, is that we all meet at 8:30 in the coffee room upstairs. We have a big doctor's area, and we will all sit for half an hour and sign prescriptions together. Now, that sounds very dull, but we have a lot of banter. We've started up a fat club, so we weigh each other every Friday, and there's lots of opportunity there to really interact with your colleagues and talk about difficult cases if you need to as well. We'll then do a morning surgery, 10 minutes a patient. As I've said before, you never know what's coming through your door. Then there's an opportunity to go out on home visits, which are extremely varied and very interesting. I mean, not many jobs where you get to go into people's homes and actually see them in that context. Then there's a bit of paperwork, of course, and then you do an afternoon surgery. Again, 10 minutes per patient, and then you're off by 6. So really, it's a full day, but it's very varied, challenging, and every day is different.
Yeah, you've talked about the growth in primary care. So what can people do to maximise their chances of working in general practice if that's what they're choosing to do?
I think that the main thing is to actually have an enthusiasm for general practice, and I think that can only be gleaned from experiencing it. I know that most foundation programmes now are starting to incorporate general practice placements, which I think is brilliant, and I would really encourage any candidate to just approach it with an open mind and see how they like it. If they decide it's for them, then I think they need to be confident about their decision, be enthusiastic about their decision, just let their natural personality shine through an interview or selection. And really, selection is looking at your communication skills and abilities. Knowledge you can find in a book, but communication skills are very important.
And who would you say would make the best candidate?
I think somebody that loves the job and somebody that can demonstrate that they love the job. A team player. It's essential to be able to communicate with every single member of the team in both primary and secondary care in order to do the best for your patients. And you do need to be organised. It's a much more autonomous way of working than in hospital. So you do need to have a degree of kind of organisation and understand what's going on a day-to-day basis.
If you had your time again, would you make the same decision?
Oh yes, 100 times over, definitely.
Smashing. Thank you.